How crazy is drinking culture in the Army?
I mean, so crazy. I mean, there's alcohol at every little, like, shop that's on base. You get a discount on alcohol on base.
When did you first get high?
So the first time I got high, it was weed. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I experimented with pills, honestly, before, like, the first time that I got high. So I don't even know that this is an AA meeting that she's talking about. And this lady starts talking, and I'm like, I'm at an AA meeting right now.
Was that the first meeting you went to?
Yeah, that was the first meeting I went to.
When did you go to jail for the first time? All right, so I'm recording with, do you think influencers get bad names, by the way?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you misspell my name. Is that what you mean?
When did I misspell your name?
You misspelled my name whenever you put me on this podcast. That's why I misspelled yours. Did you even notice that I misspelled yours? It was in the group chat.
Where did you misspell my name?
Are you kidding me? I spelled your name Dayve. I said, hey, Dave.
I thought you were like trying to enjoy. I thought that's how young people say like Dave. Like I thought it was like a cute thing, like how people say like LOLLL or JK. You know that kind of. I thought it was some young people thing. I didn't.
Oh no, it was a whole conversation in the group chat. I was like, how is Dave misspelling my name and saying he doesn't know how to spell it whenever it's everywhere? And then Janine was like, Gabby, don't even get me started on this.
Wow. I mean, first of all, I want to apologize.
No, it's hilarious. You don't have to apologize. It's literally hilarious.
Where did I misspell it though?
I mean, you just spell it with a Y, which isn't a big deal.
No. But where did you see me misspell it?
I'm pretty sure the DMs, text.
Oh, well, what does it say? Your fucking Instagram name says BBY. It doesn't say Gabby. It says BBY.
Baby Egan.
Right, so I'm not writing baby. That would be crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of creepy. Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, I mean, I guess you're right. It's because Instagram has my legal name, and then TikTok is where it's like I'm Gabby everywhere else other than Instagram. And Instagram's the only place we've ever communicated. So fair enough.
I cannot make. There's something wrong with my brain, and it's sad. It's a sad place to be, and I'm getting older, and I'm feeling weird, old people things, and this is kind of making me feel even older. But what are you gonna do? You know, also Gabby, like people spell it with a Y, people spell it with an IE.
Sometimes, yeah, just with an I.
Right? So listen, I apologize.
No, it's funny. Like, I'm just giving you a hard time. It's actually funny.
I thought you were being playful when you wrote Dave with a Y in the beginning.
I was.
Very good. And are you a serious hippie, or is this a new thing? You have a tie-dye store, you have a dreamcatcher, often rainbow hair. Do you feel akin to hippie people?
Honestly, yeah. So I was a huge stoner, and like that was my whole brand for a long time. Like I was just like, I guess hippie would be, yeah, I mean, very chill, stoner, like we're just chilling. Also, I'm Native American, so my dad, he bought me that as like a symbol when I was a teenager, and it's still on my wall today. But yeah, I would definitely call myself like akin to the hippie culture and like hippie life for sure.
I love it. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Where do you live now?
I live in the suburbs of Cincinnati, so 5 minutes from downtown on the Kentucky side, though.
Nice. And you just opened a tie-dye pop-up store?
No, dude. I've been doing that I started Dicey Dyes in 2022. So I've been tie-dyeing for over 3 years.
Has the store is just running. It's not a pop-up.
No, okay. So it was open for a year and a half. It was open all the time. And then I had a mental breakdown, closed the store down, got sober. Now I'm doing the pop-ups.
How's it going?
Really great. Yeah, the pop-ups are insane, dude. Insane. But it's a lot of fun. So I love it.
Why is it insane?
Because I guess I'm not used to having interactions with people face to face as much anymore. I've kind of been in hibernation for close to a year, for 8+ months. And so whenever we have a line out the door and there's people waiting 2.5 hours to get a t-shirt pressed, and I'm having interaction after interaction, it's just crazy. But I definitely my heart's filled with love, and I love interacting with people who support me online in real life. So it's just a good overwhelming feeling, it's crazy. I don't know.
No, I know what you mean. Because, like, I was just complaining to you about DopeyCon, but the magic of DopeyCon is seeing everybody there. And it's like in this day and age, and our reach, Dopey's reach is way smaller than your reach. And I obviously, as you've interacted with me, I'm horrible at interacting with people remotely, but you probably interact with a shit ton of people remotely.
Yeah, I do. But no, dude, you don't suck. You have a very like unique and amazing way of connecting with people. I mean, when I went to DopeyCon in LA, that was crazy. That was insane. That was awesome, dude.
It was nice to meet you in LA. But is it because I think I learned a lot about life and humanity in a restaurant where you're like working in a restaurant and the restaurant's packed. So you're dealing with all these people all the time in your face, which sounds like your pop-up. Is it like trying to get acclimated to dealing with these people that you usually deal with, like when you're on your couch and you're like super chill and you can take your time and not really think about the next person because it's all within your world? Is that weird?
Yeah, I guess for me, I always worry about like word vomiting or something. Like sometimes I'll just start like randomly trauma dumping on people. And like that's where it is for me. Like I am a very no filtered person. And I feel like even on the internet knows I'm unfiltered. So it's kind of like hit or miss what you're going to get from me. But in person, like once you say something, you can't delete that part of the video. You said it in real life. So for me, I guess I just like worry if I also am socially awkward kind of. So I guess it's just like getting everything out to people and like trying to make a good first impression, but I never really have a problem with it. I guess just for me it's just like having the anxiety of like meeting new people and like living up to the expectations of what people see online. Like I don't want them to meet me and be like, dude, she sucked. Like she was a bitch or like whatever.
Well,
I guess that's my thing.
you talk to a huge audience like this, like you're talking to me, you talk to whatever, a million people like this. So you when you're in front of somebody, you want them to actually connect with you. It's very weird. For me, it's like a smaller number of people listen and they feel like they know me. And I don't, and I'm sure that's the thing. They think they know you and they do know you, but you don't know them. And then you need to kind of shift the relationship so you know them and they actually know you at this moment and not the you were trying to like generate before. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
no, that's trippy. That's a trippy way to like
It is.
explain it too, because yeah, that's how exactly what you just said.
You had your first kid when you were 13 years old.
I did, yeah.
Tell me, like, when did you first get high?
So I
Like, I
want
got
to
high at
say,
4. I had my first kid at 13. I was divorced at 14. No, tell me everything.
yeah, no, literally. So the first time I got high, it was weed. I feel like I don't know, maybe I experimented with pills honestly before, like the first time that I got high, like triple C's, like the cough and cold medicine fiasco was like in middle school for me, so like 6th grade, like we were taking like cough and cold medicine before NyQuil got regulated or like you had to be 18 to buy that. So we did that. And I feel like that was like kind of the start of it for me, like experimenting. And then the first time I smoked weed, I was 12 and I was in 7th grade. This was like right before I got pregnant. Crazy. But yeah, I think I was 12 the first time that I smoked weed.
What was the triple C's fiasco?
Like, I don't know, like we were buying like spice off of people and then that's where it started and that was like crazy. And then I think I kind of got high from it, but I think that honestly we might have been getting sold like grass or something. I don't know what we were smoking. But and then the triple C's was like cough and cold medicine and there were these pills that were like cough and cold pills that like these teenagers were selling us. And I mean, they got us high, but it was nothing like the first time I smoked like weed. Like I wasn't getting that high. Maybe it's because I don't know, but I consider the first time I ever got like actually high when I smoked weed because we weren't getting that messed up off of triple C's, but we were trying to.
Yeah, I never did triple C's. What is what are the three C's in triple C's?
I genuinely, I think it's like cough and cold. I have no idea. Like even looking back at what it was, I'm pretty sure it was. cough and cold medicine. I mean, we definitely got like drowsy and like messed up off of it, but I really don't 100% know what it
All right, here, I
was.
looked it up. You ready? Triple
Yeah.
C's is the street name for the over the counter cold medicine Coricidin, HBP, cold and cough, which is abused for the hallucinogenic effects of its main active ingredient, dextromethorphan. Coricidin is particularly sought out for abuse because it contains one of the highest concentrations of DXM over the counter products. Did you find
Yeah.
it to be psychedelic?
Yeah, it was kind of like it wasn't like, getting high off of weed, but it was, you felt funny. Like you kind of felt funny. I mean, there was a couple times where I was like, damn, I'm kind of tripping a little bit, but it wasn't anything like crazy in my opinion. But for a sixth grader, I mean,
Yeah.
that was some hard shit.
Really hard shit. And that, but crazier than that is to get pregnant at 13. Like how, like what was that experience like? Had you been sexually active for a long period of time before you got pregnant?
No, not really. It was kind of just like I had an older boyfriend that I met at the skating rink and
Roller skating rink?
yeah.
And how much older was he?
Almost 4 years older. So I was 13 and he was 16
Hmm.
and turned 17 before my son was born. So there was an age gap there and I just was experimenting. I had an older boyfriend and then I ended up pregnant. He ended up leaving me. We've had some tragedies in our community recently, and that sparked up conversation with my mom of like that time for her and from her perspective. I know it was like the most traumatic time in my life, obviously, but my mom's like opened up more about like she was terrified that like I was gonna end up hurting myself because I was just so heartbroken. And like at 13 and like those young relationships that you have, it feels like the end of the world. Like whenever a young relationship doesn't work out, you feel like you're never going to find somebody else, like your life is over, like this, like it's the end of the world. And that's genuinely how I felt when the relationship with my son's dad and I ended. And my mom was like, that was the scariest time for me too, just because of how heartbroken you were. And it was really ugly. And that's why like I'm a huge like I want people to know that I beat the odds of teen pregnancy and I've made a life for myself, but it genuinely was the ugliest and most traumatic time of my life. Not just because I had a kid, but because of all the emotions that I experienced.
Well, it's so many things. Your hormones are going crazy. You have a baby growing inside of you, and you're basically on just becoming like physically and mature. It's crazy amount of things that were happening to you at once. What do you remember? Can you remember the first pregnancy? Because you're such a little kid too. Oh, I have a 15-year-old and a 7-year-old, and it's you know I love my kids. They're both girls, and if she had gotten pregnant when she was 13, I would have still loved her, but it would have been really different than it was. What was being 13 and pregnant and having a baby like?
When I reflect on it, like I remember a lot of it and some of it, but it was just like a really like isolating feeling because all of my friends are like going into eighth grade and now I'm getting pulled out of school to be homeschooled. My dad was like a college professor at a religious university, so he's scared that he's gonna lose his job. We're getting kind of like shunned from the church. I come from the South, so like we were like super involved in a Southern Baptist church. People are talking about us because people are like finding out and stuff. And so it was a really isolating feeling because, a lot of the parents didn't want me involved with their kids anymore because now I'm 13 and pregnant. Where have my parents been? Which my parents truly did the best that they could. My parents had me late in life. They had me in their 40s. So I was the only child. And it was just a really like isolating and confusing experience overall for me. Like it just felt like I was living in a fever dream for like years after I had my son. I feel like it was just like, is this my life? Like, what's going on?
How did you manage, and how much did your parents help you when you're so little with this little boy?
A lot. My parents helped me a lot. So I, yeah, I don't really know how I managed. I feel like I blacked out a lot and just showed up and did what I had to do, like truly. But no, my parents helped me out a lot. When I first had him, I was homeschooled, so my parents were they were like, they took off a couple of days whenever I had him in the middle of basketball season. My dad was a college coach, so he had to go like right back to work. And then I was home alone a lot with him. Like, it's so crazy because I have a 13-year-old stepson. I wouldn't even trust him to watch my 5-year-old daughter alone. Like, truly, like, just because he's a 13-year-old boy. But I, at 13, was home alone raising a newborn child. Like, I was his mother, and to think about that is just mind boggling at 25 years old. I don't know how I did it.
Do you look at your stepson like he's potentially capable of like parenting?
No,
And
absolutely not.
were you though? I mean, you were parenting, but I mean, it's like you learn, you do it because you have to. You have a little baby, you have to fucking figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy because I view my stepson as a little boy. Like, he's just, he's just a little kid.
So were
He's a
you.
little baby. I know, and so was I, but I guess I was forced to, just how you said, like, things would be so different with your daughter. These are conversations I'm having with my dad now of like, I was like, yeah, well, once I had Jalen, it was almost like you weren't my dad anymore. And he was like, things were just different. And it was hard to navigate for everybody involved, not just for me, but for my parents too. Like, how do you navigate that even as a parent when your kid is having a kid at 13, you
And
know?
Jalen's 12 now, right?
Yeah, he'll be 12 in January. He's 11 right now.
Amazing. And how does he get along with the stepbrother?
Oh, they're like, I mean, they fight like blood brothers. They've been in their, he's known Elijah since Elijah was 6 and Jalen was 4. So they've grown up together.
That's incredible. And so, where does your drug addict career go? And are you using straight away? And I know this is very probably hard to talk about, and I'm sure you talk about it a lot, but it's still hard to talk about. So no shame or judgment on my end.
No, I feel like I haven't talked about it that much. I've just kind of started to open up and talk about it just as like the past I like year, just because I have to be honest with myself if I actually want to get better. And I feel like talking about it's the only way that I can get better is just like holding myself accountable. But so I feel like for me, after I had my son, I was pretty good. I mean, like for the first 2 years of his life, I locked into school, and I ended up getting like a high school boyfriend who supported me and supported me being a mom, and like things were really good until I was probably like 16, and that's just whenever I lost my mind. Like me and my high school boyfriend broke up, and I was pretty heartbroken over that because it kind of ended in the same way of me and my son's dad. Like, he was talking to one of his ex-girlfriends, and I was just like heartbroken again. And I kind of like lost my sense of self-worth. I didn't know where I was going in life. I was working a job, trying to finish school, trying to be a mom. And I just like had no idea who I was. And I'm 16. I have an almost 3-year-old. Like, I was so lost. So I started in any time that I didn't have my son, because he was either with his grandparents or any free time that I got, I just started drinking. And that's where it started for me, was a drinking problem. Any free chance, any time I had to drink. I also was in the restaurant industry, and like that was also like a party. It was like party culture, like, oh, we're not working, let's go drink. So I started hanging out with a lot of older people, and that's where it started for me. It was like alcohol when I was 16, and I immediately started getting in trouble, and it never stopped me from drinking.
It makes me wonder, like how everyone says like alcoholism and drug addiction is like genetic and it's a gene and we're born addicts and alcoholics, and it's like you have this baby and you lock in because something tells you you have to. And then it's like, wait a second, I'm a fucking kid. Aren't I supposed to have fun? And then it's almost like you need to go further to have the fun, like than normal. And also like you probably have Jalen in your head, your actual like, oh fuck, I fucked everything up and now I'm here. And you kind of have to drink so you can forget that you're in this situation in the first place. So I'm sure it's like double downing. Or am I? My father says when I do these interviews that I try to project my opinion onto the person as though I know. So I don't know. But what do you think? Why do you think you were drinking so much?
I don't know. I feel like I've always sort of had a problem with depression, and like, not, I was bullied as a kid, so maybe that like has something to do with it, but I, it was just like, I don't know, I was so miserable. When I reflect back on it, it was like, yeah, I mean, when I was in those moments where I'm like in some random person's house, like getting messed up at 16, and it's like, I have a job and I'm going somewhere in my life. Like, it's not like I don't have parents that don't care about me and I don't have support. I do. I have like, I have things that a lot of people don't have, and I should be grateful and I shouldn't be so miserable, but there was just something in me that was just so broken, and I didn't know how to fix it or like fix myself or how to, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just so broken. Like, and I felt like that was the only way that I could fill that void, was to get messed up. And then it started to be me chasing more than just alcohol, and like now I'm doing coke, and now I'm doing Molly, and now I'm doing um anything that I can get my hands on. And so yeah, it was just like a really big downward spiral for me in those teenage years, I feel like.
Right, it's so much pressure on you, and drugs and alcohol really relieve pressure. Like, we don't do them because they don't. We don't do them because it makes us more anxious and nervous. We do it because it's an escape. And you joined the military at 17?
Yeah, so
So
my
what?
parents, they signed their rights over to me. I was going down a pretty dark path, like where my mom was worried that like one day I would go out and like I would never come back home, like cuz I had a mouth on me too, and still to this day I'm a shit talker. If I have something to say, I'm going to say it. So my mom was always worried that the combination between me drinking and doing things I wasn't supposed to and me having a mouth on me was going to end up getting me killed, or I was going to end up killing myself somehow.
So how do you wind up in the military?
I graduated a year early because even though I'm, being an absolute menace to society,
Hold up,
and
hold up, hold up. How are you a man? When did you feel like you were a menace to society?
all throughout that time,
What were you?
I
What kind of menace to society stuff?
Dude, I was getting into fights. I was, drinking, like just literally being a menace to society, like doing everything and anything that like if I'm going out to a party or whatever, I'm leaving in an altercation with someone, leaving trying to fight someone, getting into a fight with my friends, waking up with the worst hangover remorse ever. I'm getting so high on acid that I'm in a gas station for 3 hours looking at what drink I want, not being able to like pick which drink I want because all of the drinks look good, and I'm just like pacing in this gas station, and they're like, you need to leave, like buy the drink. So I like leave with a pineapple Fanta. Like, I'm just like doing all these things that, like, looking back now, I'm just like, that is so mortifying. So that's what I say, menace to society. I'm also getting in trouble, like waking up in hospital beds to my dad picking me up because I got alcohol poisoning. I had to get my stomach pumped. Like, so I had been like through this round of like bullcrap for like a year and a half, I would say. And then I graduated a year early, still doing all that stuff, still drinking, still working, still being a mom, still getting fucked up all the time. Graduate a year early. I was dating a guy in the army at the time. I'm from Fort Bragg, like, area, so I'm from Fayetteville, which is like one of the largest army bases. Both my grandfathers were active duty army, and I was just in the car one day leaving my grandma's house, and I looked at my dad and I was like, I think I'm gonna join the army. And my dad was like, I think that's a great idea. I think that will get you on track. I think that's a great idea. And my mom was not for it. And I guess they had talked, and my dad was like, I think this will be good for her. Maybe this will, get her on a better path. And so they agreed to sign me over right after I graduated. So I started taking that seriously, setting myself up to join the army, taking all the tests. And yeah, that's how I joined the army.
When you join the army, like, what's is the motivation? Just like, this will be a better life, or are you thinking like, I'm gonna go fucking to overseas and fight and protect America? Like, what are you thinking? Like, what?
Definitely was like, I was willing to deploy, but like the motive wasn't like, I want to go like blow some shit up. Like, no, it was like, I'm broke. Like, I'm broke. I have a kid. Can't afford health insurance. I need to make a life for us. And I didn't know how to, because I'm from like a cesspool of an area. Like, all my friends are shit. My job friends are shit. I'm just in a bad way. And I was like, this is a fresh start for me to like be able to have a house and like give my son everything that I want to, like, and make something for myself that he can be proud of. Like that's where my head was at, I guess.
It's like a track to like make some money, get an education, get your shit together, be a responsible person. So what is does Jalen stay with your folks when you go to the army?
Yeah, so I had to go through 10 weeks of basic training, and then it was like honestly 6 months of training, like overall. Like I became a diesel mechanic, so it was 10 weeks basic training, graduation, came home for like a little bit in between that, and then I went to AIT, and that was like 3 months. So it was like 6 months total.
Okay, and you met your current husband in the army at that
Yeah,
point?
at our duty station. Once I got to my duty station, which was right back where I'm from, Fort Bragg, I met my husband there. Yeah.
And like were you still when you're in the army, can you be you're not taking you're not taking drugs, you're not taking ecstasy and coke, but are you drinking a shit ton?
Absolutely right back at my hometown with my old friends. I'm just in the army now and I have a good job and career and a place to stay and like, obviously I've made more of myself, but I'm right back with the same people in my hometown, like right down the street from my parents' house where I grew up. And yeah, I mean, army culture is drinking. Like you come back to the barracks, there's barracks parties, there's drinking, there's everything but the stuff that you can pop hot for on a drug test, you know?
Are
So
there
there's
lots of
people,
drug tests?
yeah. I mean, it's random too. It's sporadic. So it's like, it's not like you can plan for it. It's like drug test this morning, like you think you're going to PT, but actually you're going to pee in a cup. And you just show up like you're going to PT, and then they're like, all right, pee in the cup. And they watch you pee in the cup. So,
Is one of the codes in the army like for drug addict alcoholics, like we can't fucking do drugs? Like is that a big piece of being young and in the army? Like we need to stop. I just interviewed some guy on the street in New York who was in Texas stationed, and he was like, no, we just started doing acid because it was the only thing that didn't pop up on the test.
oh my gosh. Yes. I never did acid when I was in the army, but before I joined the army, like I said, I grew up in a military base. All of my friends that were in the army were doing acid with me because it doesn't pop. Like, I mean, so much acid. Like, one of these guys that I was hanging out with and I like briefly dated, he did so much acid that I swear his like brain was fried at the end. Like, he was an MP. He was a military police officer who I'm like doing acid with every weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we put a lot of responsibility on these men and women who are called to protect and serve the country and all this stuff, and it's like a lot of them are just kids, who are alcoholic drug addicts, and we all do our best. How crazy is drinking culture in the army?
I mean, so crazy. I mean, you're getting off of work. I mean, there's alcohol at every little like shop that's on base. You get a discount on alcohol on base. You get a discount on cigarettes on base. I mean, everybody is drinking in the army. Like everybody. I mean, of course there are some people who are like straight edge and like they're all into like fitness and health. Like it's a very mix of people. You either have your shit bags, which is what I was. I was a shit bag, or you have your people who are like taking, the army seriously, like lifting every day, like extra, I was a shit bag. I was one of the ones who was like, I'm doing what I have to do. I'm taking care of my kid and I'm getting fucked up with my friends. Like, what are we doing,
Yeah, totally. When did you start thinking like I'm an alcoholic or I'm a drug addict? Had that popped into your head yet?
Absolutely not. I was just having fun. Um, I didn't think I had a problem until I went to jail for the second time, like March of 2024.
When did you go to jail for the first time?
2021, in Vegas, after like literally the same charges except they were felonies. Like this time it was misdemeanor charges, first time it was felony charges. Um, I think Vegas, like, I always say this whenever I get interviewed or, like, talk about Vegas. I genuinely do think that I got drugged in Vegas, which is why
Tell the whole
I
story.
acted.
Get us the whole story, please.
Okay. So, first time I went to jail in Las Vegas, I was drinking the entire first day. I mean, like, and I had a high tolerance because, like, I was a casual more than casual drinker. Like I could handle my alcohol. Like it took quite a bit to get me messed up. So the whole first day we're in Vegas, our flight lands at like 8 a.m. We start drinking at 9. We're drinking all day. Fall asleep at 10 p.m. I was drunk that day. Wake up the next morning, eat a big brunch at, I think it was called like the Spoon something. It was a buffet in Vegas. It was attached to our hotel. So good. Had a big buffet breakfast. I have 2 drinks at the pool around like 11 o'clock in the AM. 2 drinks, okay? I go to the bathroom to get sunscreen because they have like a sunscreen or the bathroom attendant, and you can like pay her to spray you because we didn't have sunscreen. So we go, pay this lady to spray us. I meet some girls in the bathroom. They're like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. I set my drink down, go back out to the pool. My husband's distracted by a group of men. Like, they're just like shooting the shit. Like, everything is innocent. But we had met so many people at the pool already who like knew me from TikTok because I was already on social media at this time, who were inviting us to go to shows, inviting us to go to stuff. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, we're making so many friends. Like, so many people want to hang out with us. Like, we're famous. Like, you know what I mean? And so all of a sudden, I come out of that bathroom, I get back in the pool, then I wake up and I'm in a straitjacket in jail. And I'm tied up and I'm looking at the guy next to me and I'm like, unbuckle me. I have a mask. I'm like, unbuckle me. And he's like, stop talking to me. I'm not unbuckling you. He's also an inmate. And I'm like, unbuckle me, like, unbuckle me. He won't unbuckle me. I'm freaking out. I'm in this strappy chair. I'm screaming, like saying that my dad has been killed. Like, I'm like absolutely out of my mind. Like, I've never gotten that way from drinking. Like, ever in my life that I can remember. That I've been like so blacked out I can't remember anything after 2 drinks. So I'm in jail for like over
So you
48
think you
hours.
think you think you were drugged.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I 100% think I was drugged.
So back to jail.
Yeah. So I'm in jail. I was there for over 48 hours. They don't let me have a phone call. Like I said, I'm in Vegas. I wake up in jail. I'm in Clark County Detention Center. I'm like, where the fuck is Clark County? Turns out I'm right off of Fremont in Vegas. So I can hear people partying outside. I don't get a phone call. The time comes, like I'm watching the clock, right? I wasn't able to make one phone call because I lost it due to poor behavior. And then whenever I could make a phone call, I didn't know how to. Nobody was willing to help me. It was a lot. So
What was the poor behavior?
I was trying to fight everybody and kick everybody in the nuts, and I was a psycho. You know, I'm calling
Right.
everybody a bitch. Everybody's, like I said, I have a mouth on me. So, um, yeah, I mean, I was not going in there without a fight. So well, my bond was set at 13,000. They came and they told me bond's 13,000, all this stuff. Don't take me to my court date. They're trying to hold me for 30 days as a flight risk, saying that I was a flight risk. They were trying to like not even let me get bond. And my husband goes and he's like, they don't take me to my court date. My husband goes to my court date for me and is like, we have 4 kids. Like she needs to come home. Like she can't stay here for 30 days. Like what? She's a veteran. She's all these things. And the judge was like, okay, she can get released on her own reconnaissance. So I didn't have to bond out. They let me out on my own reconnaissance, knowing that I would come back and like do what I had to do. So I get released after 48 hours. It was the craziest experience of my life. My husband was like waiting outside of the jail crying. I'm crying. Had to fight that for a year. Didn't know. I mean, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You just keep nosediving off of my little
It's okay.
stand. But yeah, I had to fight that for about a year. And that was Vegas. I mean, I ended up getting everything acquitted, everything dropped, but they didn't drug test me in jail. They didn't like, give me any sort of drug test. They just said, they gave me the charges. So as soon as I got released from jail in Vegas, I went and paid for a drug test, seeing if there was possibly anything in my system that I could prove to the courts, like, hey, like I had to have been drugged. It was after 48 hours, so any type of like date rape drug or like, drug like that would have already been out of my system. So I didn't even smoke weed then. I just drank.
I feel like even if the drug had come up positive, wouldn't they have just assumed you had taken it because you were
I
so
mean, I
knowledgeable?
guess.
And when did you get the other 3 children? When we had started talking, we had one child, and now
Yeah.
you're in jail with 4, and you're a TikTok star. So
Yeah.
let's get to how your family exploded and how your social media fame exploded also.
Yeah, so meet my husband in the army. He's going through a divorce at the time, so like he has an ex-wife with two kids. They live back here in Kentucky where we live now. And he has a daughter and a son. His daughter was the same age as my son. They're actually both born in January, and she's older, which she loves to hold over my son's head by like literally 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks, like 12 days. So, he has a daughter and a son, which is my stepson and my stepdaughter. And then I have my son. So we have three total together. We get married in July of 2018 back in my hometown in Fayetteville where we're both stationed. And about a year after we got married, we had my daughter in November of 2019, Zelma, and she is
Nice.
ours. So we have his, mine, and ours.
And is everybody treated pretty equally?
Yeah, you know, we try. We try our best.
Zelma isn't the favorite.
No, she's not. I mean, she definitely is a daddy's girl. She actually told me the other day, if you and daddy ever break up, I'm living with daddy. And I was like, okay, that's kind of mean. And she was like, well, it's the truth, mommy. She's definitely like, she's a daddy's girl through and through. My son's, you know, he's a mama's boy for sure. Both, I mean, all of the kids are very much so treated equally. It just depends on the day who's the favorite. That's what I like to say. Like, everybody has a favorite day, you know?
Yeah, I get it. I have two kids. I feel like my first daughter, they were both like way bigger fans of my wife than they are of me. But then I had a little run with my older daughter where she was all about me and not about. But then I think I got too involved with my work and I lost my edge. The little one still definitely prefers Linda to me, but that's okay. I
Yeah.
feel like I can get them back. I feel like that's on the table to get them back. But when you had Zelma, was your alcoholism like in a lull? Like, was that a moment of like, it seems like when you have babies, it's like, that's a good time to slow down.
Yeah, it like snaps you right in. Like you're just like, now I'm back locked in. I'm pregnant, so I had to stop smoking cigarettes. That was hard because I was smoking cigarettes at the time. Stop drinking alcohol. I was in a really low spot before I got pregnant, and was drinking a lot. And then got pregnant, stopped drinking. Um, I was good. I breastfed for like 16 months, so I really couldn't drink alcohol because you had to like pump and dump and like trace amounts could be in your breast milk. So I was like really got my crap together for a while. And then I would say when she was about 2 is when I started casually drinking again. And then it just turned into now I'm drinking more than casually, and now I'm stopping to get drinks on the way home, and now I need a drink, and I feel like, so it's just like, yeah, it's very up and down with that.
And you had said how much of a stoner you had been. And does the army take away stonerdom?
Yeah, so I smoked weed on and off for a while, like before joining the army, but I really didn't like become like a full blown like stoner. Like I need like I wake up in the morning, I can't do anything without smoking. I have to smoke to eat, smoke to poop, smoke to function, to go into a store. Like until I was probably like I want to say like 22 is when yeah, like 22. Like I was like 21, 22 when I started smoking, and then like by 23 I was like a full blown like, you know, I need to smoke to function.
No, I was the
So,
same way. I was the same way forever though. I smoked every day from like fucking 19 to 41 unless I was, institutionalized or something. But when does TikTok explode?
2021 yeah, 2021. Like I started posting on TikTok 2020 like through COVID. Here I am like 19, 20 years old with 4 kids. 3 of them are in school, trying to figure out like how to function as a mom, have a baby on my hip, you know, I'm losing it. And I'm posting on TikTok just like my mom mental breakdowns. And through COVID, so many moms felt the same exact way as I did, trapped in the house with your kids. You don't know what to do. So like I would post the stupid stuff. We would do like little dance trends or like making little snacks or like funny things that me and my kids are doing just as like a normal person posting on the internet. And then all of a sudden it just started to blow up. Like I made a funny video talking in a Russian accent about how I give my baby vodka. And that blew up, got millions of views, and then it just kept blowing up from there. I told my story about being 13 and pregnant. People were like, "What?" Then it just, yeah, I just kept posting. I haven't stopped posting since.
I feel like it was a gold rush. Like the same way there was actually a gold rush and someone like found gold in Northern California and everyone was like, "Let's go." With TikTok, I think around that time, COVID hits, all these people start posting and they need TikTok needs people, to become, stars on TikTok. And I feel like you and these women, like the sober girls chat, like a lot of like Brittany had an experience like that, Abby had an experience like that, and I think Rachel had an experience like that. And it's do you guys think at what point do you think there's blowback from being TikTok famous?
Like where it sucks
Yeah.
every day. Like just not being able to function like okay. Like sometimes I just want to go to Target or sometimes I just want to like drop my kids off at school without like getting a message from a parent like, "Oh my God, I saw you at drop off today." Like blah blah like what would you do that to any other parent? Like it just like I want to just be treated like a normal person. And for the most part, like a lot of people do treat me normal even if they do know about my social media because it's just like common courtesy. But some people just don't know how to function around me because I have a TikTok following. And it's like, dude, I am just like you. Like stop making this weird. Like you're making this weird. Like you're making me it's just like sometimes it gets weird in like the everyday situations. Target, I understand. Like a 16-year-old girl sees me or like a 20-year-old girl sees me and they're like, "Oh my God, you're on TikTok." Like that's cool. Like I'll take a picture with you. I'll say hey to you. Like that's fine. But like whenever it comes to like school, sports, things like that, it's like, dude, okay, like please, like my children like go to school with yours. Like don't make this weird for me.
It's
That's
a
where
it's a crazy age. Like it's a weird age of celebrity, like that isn't like old ages of celebrity where normal people can become, you know, social media famous, and then it's like in your town, you're probably like the most famous person in the town, and they're like, there goes Gabby Egan.
yeah,
And
probably.
but how does it mix with alcoholism and drug abuse? You
Um
ever posted drunk and high and stuff? Did you ever?
oh yeah.
And did that ever like did was there ever a bad situation with that?
No, I think that the worst thing, like obviously people would be like, "Damn, like she's messed up" in a video, but I was also like 21, 22, 23. Like I was young, you know?
You're still young. You crazy? How old
Yeah,
are
I
you?
know. I hit 25 and I downward spiraled though. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm mid 20s now. I feel like I'm 16 in my head. Like what's happening?" But I was young and so I feel like it was more socially acceptable. Like she's young. She's a young mom. Like she's allowed to whenever she doesn't have her kids like have fun whatever. But I guess the worst part of it was like when I would mess up and get in trouble and go to jail, it was on TMZ. Like it's on TMZ's putting this out. It's going on the
Hold up.
news.
What was on TMZ? The
Like
Vegas?
my mugshot. Like, I go to jail and people, a normal person, it doesn't really get published to the masses. Like, no, I was on the Las Vegas news,
What does it
you
say?
know?
TikTok influencer Gabby Egan. What does it say?
Kicks police officer in the testicles.
Wait. When did that happen?
Both times. I'm always trying to kick somebody in the nuts when I'm drunk, I
So you
guess.
connected. You connected with a Las Vegas police officer.
Yeah, I headbutted one of them in Nashville. And then I tried to kick another one of them. I don't know what. Like, yeah, I guess I tried to kick one of them in the nuts. I connected with his knee. And then I headbutted an officer in Nashville.
What happened in Nashville?
I got super drunk. Me and my husband were arguing. At a bar, I bumped into a waitress, I guess, and I thought she bumped into me. And I was like, fuck you.
You still think she bumped into you?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happened.
No
Either one
shit.
of the other.
Yeah.
But she was carrying food, and this is like the like I the shame and like cringe and like ew that I think whenever I think about this. She was apparently like carrying food, and like I bumped into her, like whatever happened, and I was like, "Watch where the fuck you're going." And then I guess I smacked her. A server at a restaurant. Like genuinely like probably one of my like lowest moments. Like if I was her, I would have whooped my ass. Like,
Wait,
you
what
know, like
happened? What happened then? Did she go, "You're TikTok influencer Gabby Egan? Why are you hitting me?"
no. They tried to kick me out. And of course, me being me, I'm like, the fuck, you're gonna kick me out? Like, fuck you. You're not gonna kick me out. And like, I'm not anything to do with like social media, just like, I didn't do anything wrong, like playing
And
the
you're
victim in this
wasted.
situation. Yeah, and I'm wasted.
So what
So.
happens?
So they call the cops, and then um, they arrest me. I obviously don't want to go, so I'm putting up a huge fight with the cops. And I'm fighting multiple police officers. Don't want to get in this car. I'm not going to jail. I'm not. Like, I don't know what you guys are thinking, but I'm not going to jail. So they end up having to wrestle me into the car in the process. I headbutted an officer. Um, go to jail. Thankfully, I was like, I remember some of this. Like, I remember fighting the officers. Not like exactly what I was doing, but I remember putting up a fight. Like, I'm not getting in this car. And then, go to jail. They put me in a drunk tank for a little bit. I calmed down. And then that was pretty chill. They just let me sit in the lobby with a bunch of people who were also, like, probably drunk. And this one girl threw up everywhere, all over her. It was disgusting. And then I got bailed out a couple hours later.
And at what point, like when does sobriety start like lurking around? Like when does it become like, was that impactful? Was your husband pissed? Did your husband drink a lot? Does he drink a lot? Like when does it start to shift?
So after that, I think was in denial, but it was like in the back of my head, like, okay, I've been to substance abuse therapy multiple times in my life, but because it was mandatory or because like it was like a necessary thing,
When had you
right?
been?
I went in the army. Um, I went because I've always had like pretty bad anger problems in my life, like just all I've always low key been a spaz, and it might be because I have bipolar disorder or I don't know, but I'm kind of a spaz. If something upsets me, everybody's gonna know about it. I have no like, and I'm trying to change that. Okay, I've even had like issues as of recently. Like somebody in the group chat in our sober girls chat will piss me off, and I'm just like, fuck all of you guys. Like, I don't need this. But um, I've been in substance abuse therapy like army when I was 16 after waking up in the hospital, getting drinking tickets, um, after I got arrested in Vegas. But the thing is I would always go in and lie, you know? So
Sure.
I was never honest with myself. I was like, this, I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to do my community service. I'm going to get this over with, take my classes, get it done with. But yeah, I never really thought I had a problem until after Nashville. I started thinking about it, but that didn't stop me from drinking. And like I went home from Nashville and I went to the bar like 2 weekends later.
You're a serious alcoholic. I love it. You're like a serious classic alcoholic. And I think probably you had enough of these fucking situations where you were like, I want to drink. And you were like, but if I drink, this shit is going to happen. I'm going to kick somebody in the balls. I'm going to fuck up some waitress. I'm going to go bananas. I also love that you say at the same time, I have bipolar disorder, but I'm just a spaz. I love, I love that you put the two together. When are you diagnosed with bipolar disorder?
After Vegas. So they tried to diagnose me with bipolar when I was 16 after a drinking incident.
And you're like, I'm not
And
having it. You're not
well,
fucking right.
my mom is like anti-medicine. She's
Mm.
crazy. Love her to
Mm.
death though. She's like, they're just trying to get you on pills. You're not bipolar. You're not depressed. It's all made up in your head. So I went undiagnosed for years, but I was always moody, a spaz. My parents were like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Well, they tried to tell you. I was bipolar like when I was 16. That's what's wrong with me,
Right.
you know? So, I got diagnosed when I was 21 and it all made sense. I was diagnosed bipolar 1. I have all the symptoms of it, everything, like,
Break it
through and
down.
through.
What are the tell us about bipolar disorder?
So, bipolar disorder is, I mean, it truly is two different ends of the spectrum. I'm either like really down on myself, hate my life, think that I'm like the worst thing ever. Don't want to do anything, extremely tired, like lethargic, have zero motivation for life, just down. Like, everything sucks and I'm very unoptimistic, very cynical about everything. Or I'm on top of the world. I am God. I am Jesus walking on water. Nobody can tell me shit. Get out of my way. I can do anything and everything I set my mind to. Spending money like crazy, putting myself into bad situations, like extreme mania, where it's like, yeah, let's book a flight to go to New York tomorrow. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's do all this stuff. And then like crashing, So it's like two periods of like completely different identities, like almost like it's like, oh damn, like last time I saw Gabby, she was way cooler than this. So that's how I describe it. And I was medicated for a while. With bipolar disorder, I've taken Seroquel, Abilify, Raylar, like all these different medications, but now I'm unmedicated and I just feel I've been unmedicated for like, it caused me to gain a bunch of weight. I felt like I was pregnant on a lot of the medications. And I feel like I've learned, especially in sobriety, how to manage it on my own. Like I know myself a little bit more now to where I'm like, okay, like I'm getting sad, but I can go for a walk and like I'm learning to actually like try to manage bipolar on my own. Obviously, I can't like make myself perfect, but I'm doing okay.
Totally. Nobody is perfect. And like there is so much interesting management that we can do in recovery. But so like you're like, fuck it, I know I have a problem, or this seems like a problem. When did you start sniffing out sobriety and how did you jump into it?
So it's been in the back, like I got arrested in March of 2024. It's been in the back of my mind, but like I said, I'm a shitbag. So I was like, I'm not going to quit. I mean, this is my fun. And so Rachel invites me on Against All Odds. And I'm like, for what? Like, I don't know. It's like this sobriety podcast. I'm not sober and it's like recovery. And she's like, oh, no, no, no. Like, it's like, because we want to ask you about your story of being like pregnant and stuff, like 13 and pregnant. And I was like, okay. So I go and I get there the day before we're going to film, which is like the same day they're filming with Maud's son and all this stuff. I had no idea. I was like so excited. I'm going to get to meet Maud's son. Like, I'm so happy. And she's like, oh, we're going to go to a meeting tonight. Do you want to come to this meeting? Never have I been to a meeting. So I don't know what she's talking about. I think she's like a meeting for the podcast tomorrow or like, whatever. She's like, there's pizza there. There's all this stuff. So I don't even know that this is an AA meeting that she's talking about. And so we go to one of the sober living houses that's up in the hills. Like, it's beautiful. There's a sunset and there's all these people. And it's not clicking that I'm at an AA meeting. Like, I'm just like, this is cool. And then this lady starts talking and I'm like, fuck, I'm at an AA meeting right now.
Was that the first meeting you went to?
Yeah, that was the first meeting I went to. And this lady just goes through this. She's been sober for like 20 years or something like that. Like, she's been sober forever. And she just talks about her journey being a drug addict and an alcoholic and all of this stuff. And I'm sitting there just like beyond baffled. Like, I hear her. Like, for the first time in my life, I hear her, I relate to her, and I know that I need to get sober. Like, it was the most like eye-opening, like it almost makes me want to cry because I just remember like sitting there like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what? Like, I felt like I was kind of getting set up by Rachel. Like, are you trying to say that I have like a problem or something? Is that why you like flew me out here and like now I'm sitting like, what the fuck is happening? So like I leave very confused that
Do you think
day.
I have a problem in that you flew me out here and put me on a drug addict show? Of
No. Yeah, genuinely. I'm like,
course.
Rachel, what the fuck was this? Like, I didn't know I was coming to an AA meeting. She was like, oh, like, I'm sorry. Which I don't think that she did set me up. I genuinely don't think she did.
No, she was looking, she wanted to help you. she was like, her whole point was like, how can I help this girl? It's like she knew you had reach. She knew your story was nuts. She couldn't know, and I'm speaking for Rachel, like me and Rachel haven't had a talk about this, but she couldn't have decided you're an alcoholic, but she could probably smell alcoholism, and she goes to Alcoholics Anonymous. And I'm not trying to blow up her anonymity, as you mentioned she did, but she's like, fucking come to the meeting, and then for a second you're like, oh my god, this is touching my soul, and then the next minute you're like, what the fuck did this woman do to me? And then did you do the meeting before or after you did her show?
Before. And
Mm.
it's so crazy because I didn't, every time I go to California, the first place I go to, I get my rental car, I go to the dispensary, I get hella weed for the trip, right? This time I didn't do that because I was like, I'm gonna be around all these lame sober people, so like let me not be the only one like smoking weed and trying to get high. And so I'm like crashing out because I'm not smoking. So I'm at this AA meeting, go back to my hotel that night. I'm like laying there, like my life sucks. Like what the fuck am I doing here?
I can't
Like
believe you didn't get high. And we didn't really tap into what. So is there dispensaries in Kentucky?
in Ohio, it's legalized in Ohio. Ohio's the new California
How
now.
far away from from Kentucky is Ohio?
5 minutes.
No way. I've
Yeah, I
seen the
live
map
like
of America. Is Ohio and Kentucky that close to each other?
look up Newport, Kentucky versus Cincinnati, Ohio. There is a line between it.
I'm just playing. So what do you get? What do you get at the dispensary? Like, what was your go-to?
Mainly carts, edibles, but before, because it wasn't always legalized in Ohio, this is new in the last like year, we would just drive to Michigan. And Michigan, it's legal too.
How
So,
far is it to Michigan?
like 4 hours.
Okay, but you couldn't just buy weed in Kentucky from just some weed dealer?
I mean, yeah, but they like mark it up. I can go to the dispensary and get hella shit, you know?
Mhm.
So,
So what are you
but I
getting?
mean,
Not you're getting vapes. You're getting the carts. Is a cart different than a vape?
yeah, like a cart is like concentrated wax. It's like thick and it's good. Very good, but not very good for you. Definitely not good for your lungs. So those, I was getting carts, I was getting edibles, I was getting, regular flour.
In my day,
Um,
the wax was separate, and you
yeah,
smoked the wax separate, not in the cart. Now they
yeah,
put the wax
dabs.
in the cart. Yeah, the dabs. Dabs were very strong. Um,
Yeah,
so like you live in the dispensary world. Did you like edibles?
yeah, I was
I didn't.
addicted.
Okay, so edibles was your number one.
Mm, carts. I feel like dab pins, like the dab pins were like my number one. Because they're discreet and it's a vape. I can take it anywhere and I can hit it. And nobody can really know that I'm smoking weed. You hit that thing like 5 times, you're on cloud nine, you're good.
It doesn't
And you can
stink
hit it.
like bud, right?
I mean, it does. Like, if I were to hit it in the car with you, you would know that I'm smoking weed. But, like, if you're just, like, outside or, like, in a busy shopping mall, like, nobody is gonna know.
So you go to so you've been smoking weed hardcore for like how many years at that point?
Years, like 2022, 2023, 2024, like 3 years, probably.
And you're not like doing heroin or crack or anything like that, or are you taking ecstasy or snorting coke or any of that at that point?
No, not really. Anytime I would ever get, like, a pain pill prescription, I would snort it, though. But,
But
like,
it
that's
wasn't your
about it.
thing. You're just a fucking fall down alcoholic and a serious crazy new age stoner. So
Yeah.
you go to California to do the Against All Odds podcast, not sober. Rachel takes you to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, and you're like, what the fuck is this? Then you go to the hotel and you don't have bud or carts or anything. And you're like, what? And what? So talk us through this because I'm impressed. I think that's a very interesting moment because if I was you, I definitely would have had something for that night and been like, that was interesting, but now I'm going to get high kind of thing.
Yeah, it was, like, the first time I ever realized, like, girl, you have a problem. And so, like, I go back to the hotel and I have a rental car. I could easily have, like, gone anywhere, done anything. But, like, I'm genuinely, like, just kind of in a state of, like, who am I? Like, I just couldn't even process it almost. It was just like, I just remember laying in the bed that night, like, do I really need to get sober? Like, I feel like I really need to get sober. Like, I feel like I'm going to keep going down this path until one day it gets so bad that I'm not going to be able to fix it anymore. Like, it's just going to be like, I'm going to lose everything. I have way too much to lose. All this is just like running through my head. Like, I've already made all these stupid decisions. I've already messed up so many times. Like, when is going to be the time where I finally have that wake up call? Like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't drink, you know?
And it was that day.
Yeah, it was that day. And I went on against all odds the next day. I'm sweating. Like, dude, I have pit stains because, like, I don't have weed. Like, I'm literally having, like, physical reactions. Like, I can't, my stomach is sick. I'm just, like, feeling like shit that day. Like, I look back at that podcast episode and I'm just like, dude, I was in so much just, like, distress. And I went home, flew back home, have not smoked since then. Have not drank since then. I've been completely abstinent on everything since that day, September 20th, 2024.
That's incredible. Against All Odds should promote that all the time. Did you tell them that you had some kind of come to Jesus moment in the 24 hours that you had been there when you went on their show?
Yeah, I'm actually going back for my 1 year at the end of this month, to go back on Against All Odds and talk about it. But yeah, I told Rachel, I was like, damn bitch, like I'm sober now. And so we have talked a little bit about it. And then after I was like a couple months sober, that's when I got Rachel was like, "Hey, you should be part of this sober girls group chat thing we've got going on." It was like kind of an accountability thing because Brittany Jade has watched me try to get sober one time before, and it was a big wash. I mean, it was like, I'm trying to get sober, I think I have a problem, and then I ghosted her. So I think that it was more of like an accountability thing. They were trying to bring me in so maybe I would stay sober this time. And it's worked, because I have a group of people who have been sober for years. And here I am, like, 10 months, 8 months at the time, 6 months at the time, who are just like holding me accountable for my shit.
So you go home from California and you're like, I'm doing this. What does it look like when you get home? Like, how do you start putting it together? What do you tell did you call your husband that night and you're like, I think I have a problem, or you didn't?
Yeah, I think that he was just kind of like sick of my shit. He probably thought it was like another phase, but he actually stopped drinking too. So he quit drinking, I think like maybe a month after me, or maybe like around the same time, just for like health reasons. I mean, he definitely has his own issues with alcohol and his own relationship problems with alcohol and like substance abuse and stuff like that. But I definitely don't think he can manage his a lot more. He's more functioning than me. I'm functioning to a degree, but then I have but I just came home and started crashing out for like, I think it was like the first like 6 months. I was just like absolutely in shambles, having an identity crisis, mourning this version of myself that I lost, that like I felt like I was never going to be able to get back, because I don't think that I can ever like drink like a normal person socially and acceptably.
How are you getting through it though? Did you go to meetings or no?
I did some online meetings where like I didn't, for me, like a lot of people know who I am here, so it's not very anonymous for me. Like I show up with my pink, my blue hair, like everybody's gonna like be like, that's that bitch on TikTok,
You
she's,
should wear a wig. You should go to AA, wear a fucking wig and glasses, and be like,
yeah,
shh. If you go to a fucking AA meeting, I mean, you're sober on TikTok. Like,
yeah.
at what point do you start talking about sobriety on TikTok?
I talked about quitting smoking weed and how hard that was for me, and everybody told me like, you act like it's heroin, like you're fucking overreacting. And I'm like, no, dude, like you don't understand. Like this was really hard for me. Like this was super hard. So I started talking about quitting smoking weed and sharing my struggles with that, because I genuinely was having physical withdrawals. Like I was sweating, I couldn't sleep, I could not eat, like my stomach was hurting. Like it genuinely felt like I was having like withdrawals from the weed. Like it was crazy. Like, and that's why I would smoke every morning, because if I didn't smoke every morning, I would be sick to my stomach. I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't sleep without it. Like I was full blown like addicted to pot. Like, and I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people. It does. Like it sounds crazy.
People like are snobs. Drug addicts are snobs. First of all, they're just snobs. And if you tell a story that like you were fucking totally addicted to weed and how hard it is to be sober off weed, everybody's going to come out of the woodwork to tell you that you shouldn't. When I got sober, like I had stopped doing heroin years before and I was doing pills kind of here and there. When I got sober, like it was weed. It was just weed in the end. And like for me, it wasn't, and I wasn't smoking all day every day at that point. Like I was a waiter. I would smoke after work every day, but I had smoked all day every day for millions of years. But I was like just nervous, like that I would be sick, not like chill, not comfortable. Like it's very jarring to be high all the time. And especially, I mean, it's funny because whenever I have people on the show who are like my age or older and they talk about like the weed out there now, I'm like, give me a break. You obviously didn't try to get good bud when you were smoking if you're like worried about the weed out there now. But now that I'm hearing you talk about it, like maybe I don't know about the weed out there now. Now that I'm listening to you, like I smoked, like we would get wax and we would get pens. Like it was like we would get it from, I had a sort of girlfriend who was from Colorado, and she would go to the dispensaries in Colorado and bring back like tons of bud and pens and shatter and wax. And I when I was younger, it was keef. You know about keef?
Yeah.
I was very into keef, but I think you should talk more about, like, I think especially now that fucking weed is legal. Like you talk to professionals in the addiction world, they're like heroin use is down, but fucking weed and gambling are way up and are crippling kids. And you seem like, I think you were a horrible alcoholic too, but you were one of these people who was really addicted to THC derivatives. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I think you should wave the flag. Help out these kids.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I think that like my son is just now realizing like I have a sign in my store that says sorry we're stoned because that was like our thing, like cuz we were high all the time at work and like we'd be like fucking obliterated, like, working. And he was like, "What does it say under sober?" Cuz I changed it to sorry we're sober as my new excuse. And I was like, "It said stoned." And he was like, and I could see it like was kind of like all clicking for him, and he was just like, ew. And I was like, that's why I always talk to you guys about this stuff, like don't hit a vape, don't smoke anything. Like I genuinely do think that with all of the derivatives and everything that's in these carts, because it's not just 100% pure THC, like, or CBD concentrates, it's all these added chemicals and added extras that are in these carts that like I genuinely think are causing the withdrawals. It's not the flower bud. It's all of these concentrates that are added and preservatives and like whatever that are added into these vapes that are making the withdrawals like actually like withdrawals. Like it's not just like it was terrible. Like, and one of my friends who still he's like Cali sober, so he quit drinking before I even quit drinking, and he still smokes to this day. Anytime he tries to quit smoking, he's talked about wanting to quit so many times, and since I've quit, he really wants to quit too, and he's like, if you can do it, I can do it, like, whatever. He cannot quit because it's that overwhelming feeling of like just doom and like not being able to sleep, not being able to eat, like being so dependent on it just to do mundane tasks. Like sitting in that discomfort of not being high anymore is soul crushing. It was soul crushing for me at least. Like, and I know I feel like I'm so dramatic whenever I sound about like talk about it because I do think I'm an alcoholic too, but quitting weed was so much harder, and maybe it's because I did it at the same time and I always thought weed was the better option. Like it was less harmful, it was like natural and like all that stuff. But alcohol was easier for me to quit than the weed because I was so dependent on it. It was my crutch. If I can't drink, I can smoke, you know?
And
And whenever I took
alcohol is so destructive. It's obviously you drink and you're like brawling with cops. You smoke weed, you're like eating brownies and watching TV or something. And it's like, I mean, when I got off drugs, I used weed to get off drugs. What did you do to get through? Like when I used weed to get off of every other drug, and then when it was finally time to like try to get sober, it was weed. And I was very hung up on the sleeping, like because I couldn't sleep without it. So I would start taking like Unisom and Benadryl and Tylenol PM and whatever, and I'm only not taking them now. And last night I took melatonin. I have a hard time with sleeping. What did you do about that discomfort? Like you're not going, you don't want to go to local meetings because you are like famous in the town. So what did you do? Like how did you get through it?
Honestly, I just talk to my girls. Like truly, like the sober girls group chat 1 and 2, I really like the number one thing that I did was sit with myself. And I think that that was the hardest part because I was and I do have a support system. So like I have my husband and I have my kids and I have things that I have to do every day. So I just like really stuck to my routine and what I had to do. Like I said, I shut my store down before all of this because I knew I needed to make changes within myself. Like after I went to jail in Nashville, I was like, I really need some time to work on myself. So everything kind of like happened in sequence that it was supposed to. And I'm just now like regaining my life back. But I decided to close my store down in June because people were being like really hateful towards me because I just went to jail for the second time and I knew I had work to do. Boom, now I'm getting sober. So like I'm in hibernation for like these however many months. I'm still posting online and stuff, but like I'm really like keeping to myself and like working on myself. And it was just a lot of me just sitting there in silence a lot of the times and not really consuming that much content, just only posting whenever I felt I had something to post and just sitting with that pain. I mean, it was so uncomfortable. There were so many things about myself that like I had to confront and like be like, damn, like that's like really ugly and that's a part of you. And like, how can you fix that? And like sobriety is one of the answers of that, you know? And I just had to sit with all these mistakes that I've made and bad decisions that I've made and, you know, realize like, yeah, I did that. But, you know, there's nothing I can do about it now. I can't rewrite the past. You know, the past happened. I can own it. I can acknowledge it. I can accept it. And then I can move forward and be what I want to be. Just because I've made all these mistakes in the past and I've done all these ugly things, that doesn't define who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. That's just a part of my journey. And so as soon as I could own my own shit and, you know, admit that was the biggest thing for me was like admitting that I had a problem. I would not admit that I had a problem for the longest time. So I just had to sit with myself and like actually be honest with myself, not fearing the damn I'm going to have to stop drinking if I admit that I have a problem. Like I already quit. Like, you know, there is no way around it, in my opinion. You know, you just have to really sit with yourself and be uncomfortable. That's the only way you can change. That's how, in my head.
It's amazing to me. Like there's so many things, like the fact that you're 25, you have 4 children, you know, you had 2 of your own, you got sober, you built this crazy social media thing, you have the store that I'm sure you'll reopen or you won't, depend, but it's like you learned so much and you got so tough at such an early age. Like the answer to all of it, because I was at a meeting this morning and I'm like bugged out about DopeyCon, and the answer to all of it is like you just have to keep going, and then if you keep going, it gets better, you know. And if you don't, it doesn't get better. Like, what was the reaction for your from your following when you started being like, I needed to change my life?
That they probably have heard it before. You
Now
know.
you're almost a year in. Like, are they like? Is there a lot of solidarity? Like, do a lot of people reach out to you for help?
Not as much for help. I feel like because I'm in the Sober Girls group chat thing, there are just so many other amazing resources within that group chat. Like we have a Facebook page, so a lot of people, if they are asking for like help, I refer them to the Facebook page just because I don't feel like I'm seasoned enough to help them. I'll refer them to one of like my friends who like has 10 years under their belt or like has 5 years or 7 years because I always tell the group chat this too, like I'm healing, I'm not healed. Like I'm not the person to be helping you. Like if you need help, it's not me. Like I will try to talk to you as much as I can and I'll try to give you the best advice, but like I feel like even at a year sober, like I'm not ready to like sponsor anybody or like, you know, I'm willing to give you all of my advice, but like you need to go to one of the big dogs for like some true guidance, you know, as of
Listen,
right now.
you could help so many people right now. Like you're perfect to help so many people. So don't feel like you can't. Cuz like, and that's also how you do better. Like it's like that's what makes you stronger, and like, listen, I'm not going to sit here and be like, you need to go to meetings and sponsor people and whatever, but you definitely do.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean
I
it. I
know.
don't mean you need to. I just think it unlocks some shit. And like the audience is like, damn, Dave, Like fucking leave her alone. Stop 12-stepping everybody. But it's like it's a good deal. That's it. That's it. And you should fucking come to DopeyCon for Christ's sake.
I know, and I'm gonna try to talk to some of the girls too, and try to. We just 4 kids is a lot of kids, dude, and
Yeah, tell me
it's.
about it. One of the guys who was supposed to be in DopeyCon, like his wife just relapsed, and he's older than me, and he has 4 kids, and some are younger than either of ours, your or mine, and he can't figure out how to do it. But you know, when the time is right, the time is right. But I appreciate you coming on, but I wanted to know more stuff. What did I want to know? How do you feel in general? You feel good?
Felt like better than I ever have in my entire life. You know
Was this better than Against All Odds or as good?
what, this
Yeah, oh yeah,
podcast?
this one. Are you crazy?
I enjoyed this so much, probably because I'm in the comfort of my own home and
Mm.
I'm not, like put on the spot with like lights. Yeah, I definitely. I mean, they're both two different vibes. You can't really like,
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Fuck. I'm supposed to go do Against All Odds in October. I would love to hear your year celebration. So I'm gonna listen to that. And what else is coming up? What's your dreams? Tell me your dreams. Like, what do you want to do?
My dreams. I don't know. As of right now, like my dreams are like all short-term things. So just like mastering my schedule a little bit more, trying to do some things around the house and just like I guess for me it's just like staying true to myself. Like right now, I don't have any big dreams just because I don't know. Like I don't know. My dreams right now are just to like keep going, stay happy, say no more, like and set boundaries, stop taking shit from people, stop feeling obligated to owe people shit, like just to do the things that I really want to do. And I feel like I've been doing a really good job at that. And I'm just trying to stay more consistent with myself. Like, that's my goals for right now in my dreams, just to like master self consistency and to keep showing up for the things that I want in life and not what everybody else wants in life, what I want.
Who do you take shit from?
Just like people, like I'm just sick of people, like I'm just trying to do what I want to do and stop listening to everybody else who's like, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And then it takes up all my free time. Like, no, I can't do that. I have shit to do, you know? So I'm just trying to like be able to say no more and just be like, I'm doing this for me. I don't have time for this I don't have time for charity work all the time. I'm doing what I want to do.
That doesn't sound good at all. That sounds terrible. You have to fucking look out for these people. I'm telling you, you need to look out for these people.
I'm not talking about people who are like, I need help. I'm talking about people who are like, can you help me move on a Tuesday, but they don't show up for me type shit.
Oh
You
no,
know what I
fuck those
mean?
people. Don't take shit from those
Right.
people. No, no, you can't help people move. Do you make a lot of money, or do you make a lot money from the content?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fantastic. Like, what's your secret, and can you advise me on how to be better at this?
Oh my gosh.
What's the
I would
Gabby
say
Egan special sauce? Is it the hair? Is it the family? Is it the spicy disposition? What is it?
I think you should dye your hair.
Yeah, what color?
Pink,
Oh
maybe blue.
Jesus, help me, God.
Um
What else should I do?
I don't know. I feel like for you it would be to it's the first 5 seconds of every video that ropes people in. So have you ever heard that before? Like the first 5 seconds of a video. So if your video starts off really slow and boring, nobody's gonna stay to the end of that video, even if it gets funny at the end. Like you have to have the first 5 seconds be what grabs you in. Even if that's a little clip of the funny part that makes people laugh in the beginning, they'll want to watch the whole video. So really focus on the first 5 seconds. Like if this were to come up on your thing while you're scrolling on your For You page, would you stay to watch the end of it? And the more people that watch your entire post, the more that it gets pushed out into the algorithm. So it's really about just posting something. That's why a lot of the times in the beginning of my videos, I'll scream or like I'll say something crazy or like whatever, because it makes people want to be like, damn, what's this bitch got to say? You know?
Very good. Um, all right. This has been really fun. I've enjoyed getting to know you a little bit. I hope you show up at one of our things. If you ever need anything, don't be a fucking stranger. Anything else?
No, same to you. I appreciate this. Thanks for listening to me yap. I am a yapper. I would go, as I can yap as long as you ever need me to. So hit me up too if you ever need anything, or
What if I
vice
need
versa.
what if I need you to help me move on Tuesday?
That's what I'm saying. Like you made it sound really bad. I'm not the best with my words. I not meaning I am doing charity, but like not like charity work for, you get it.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
It did
Um
sound bad.
no, it was great cuz you clarified, and I think you're allowed to sound bad. I say horrible I hate Canadians. I just don't like them. What are you going to do? You can't like everybody. You can't be perfect all the time. No, so you don't do 12-step meetings. What is your recovery routine like? Is it just the sober girls group chat kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, I do like I worked at 12 steps, but not like through a program, I guess. We talk about the 12 steps in the group sometimes, but like I've worked the steps on my own, like essentially. Like I've gone through them. Probably haven't worked them like a normal person in a 12 step has, but I've reflected on them. And I mean, yeah, recovery for me is just like self accountability and like I don't know.
I'm super interested cuz like obviously 12 step is not the only way to get sober, and obviously you're sober. You know what I mean? And I think from what I'm just listening to you and getting from you is it's like you have a purpose, you have a mission, and you have fun doing your life. Like I see you and your family eating pancakes, and I see you guys having fun, and and sobriety has worked out. You know what I mean? Like it's working out. So I would say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I think anybody who can figure out how to get a fucking year sober, like, and is as amazing a communicator as you are, you probably would get a lot out of meetings in general. And that's just I'm 51. I'm twice as old as you are. Like, and I didn't get it together until I was 41. So that's my advice as a 51-year-old. So without like, with a different experience. And also I got sober only because of 12 step. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't have happened for me. Like nobody was inviting me on shows and doing shit for me. But I really love your story, Gabby, and I appreciate the time.
Yeah, I appreciate it too.
Right on. Did I say anything that offended you or bugged you out?
No.
All right, good. Well, have a good day.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Dude, I think I'm gonna put it up like Friday.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Tag me. You can if you want to just like text me and say, "Hey, I'm about to post," if you want to collab with any of the posts too.
Oh, you know what I want you to do? Would you do one more thing?
Yeah.
Can try to tell your recovery story, your whole story in 60 seconds. I'm going to time you. I'll hold up a timer. Hold on. You
Okay.
ready? Hold on. Stand by. Hold on.
Oh my God, this is hard.
I know. It'll be fun. Um, Here you go. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, so I was 13 and pregnant, and then I started smoking weed when I was 12, right before I got pregnant. And then after I had my son when I was 13, I didn't do anything until I was about 16. And oh my God, I started doing triple C's in middle school, though. This is so hard. And then I became an alcoholic when I was probably 16. I went to the hospital a few times for drinking too much, got my stomach pumped. Then I joined the army when I was 17, trying to get my life together. But the army, you drink even more than whenever you're a 16-year-old crazy person, partying at colleges and stuff. And then after that, I got arrested 2 times for drinking too much. And then I ended up going to a meeting that I got set up by my friend Rachel because she was trying to get me sober, low key, I think, but she denies it. And now I have a year sober, almost, on the 20th of this month. And I am going to be sober for hopefully the rest of my life. Hopefully. 60 seconds.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you, Gabby.
Yeah.
Be in touch. I really appreciate it.